I'm going to make you laugh. I want to basically make this a blast. I feel kind of stupid.
That's what we do. All right. Good morning. Victor.patalano here. I am here with Chief Jack Bosma, veteran and expert at everything that has to do with veterans. And we are kind of at a momentous occasion. We are going to quickly and easily present a concept that I've created called 4X Wellness, which is awesome for everyone because it allows 4 essential needs to be fulfilled for the average person, and that is sleep, health, energy, and money, all in one shot. So we're going to go over a little bit about the components of it, and I'm going to show you how I have it, how Jack has it, how they're very, very, very similar, but that Jack has a unique twist towards it that is definitely geared towards veterans in a big way.
Yes, so, I do.
First of all, congratulations, Jack, in kind of organizing this and coming up with the part of the concept. Because if you remember correctly, way back when, you created something for me, an acronym called S.L.E.E.P. S.L.E.E.P. Remember that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I remember that. The most joyous day of my life. The most powerful day in my life. It put things in perspective for you, and we've been collaborating on various projects ever since. The best thing I ever did.
Wow, this is good. So, a little background in how this all came
coming back. All right, see you later, alligator. Another interested customer just walked by my table, but he had to go out. He has to work for a living, so he'll be back. But I got a big old thumbs up, and I got a bonus round smile from the guy. I mean,
bonus round is good.
Bonus round smile. All right. I just want to introduce myself to everybody. I am Chief Jack Bosma, a retired disabled Navy combat veteran. I'm getting teeth on the 19th, though. It's a good thing. This is what I will say. I have found myself to be the most productive when I'm doing absolutely nothing. And since I'm more productive when I'm doing absolutely nothing, I have an opportunity to think about things, to analyze things, and to think, what does it do for me? What is the value for me? I can talk to people all day long. I can have these big, long, complicated presentations. Who cares? All I want to know is I have a philosophy now. Mr. Patalano is going to tell me what he's going to tell me. He's going to talk about the 4 components that he's already addressed. And then we're going to tell me what you're going to tell me. We're going to talk about the 4 components in a minute or less. And then we're going to share some written content with you once this video is published so that we can actively engage with you, our client. This stuff excites me. It excites Mr. Patalano. And I've learned a long time ago, if a person is legitimately excited about what they're promoting or what they're presenting, then chances are they probably have a passion for it. And if we have a passion for the 4 products that we're selling, we would like to infect you with that same passion so that we can have a good interaction and learn some good things about our 4 special product areas. Go ahead, Mr. Patalano. We got 4 of them. I forget what they are personally, but they all do intimately have value for me. Go with number 1. Tell me about number 1.
So I'm going to do them in order and elaborate a little bit about each one. The sleep part of it is as a result of me being a registered sleep advisor and owning Mattress Outlet of Abington for 15 years. So the sleep part has evolved tremendously because people want and need more than just the ability to buy a mattress for me. So I expanded it to become sleep wellness. Sleep wellness being all the advising, consulting, and software part of it that allows people to sleep better. The sleep aids that enable that product to happen. And I'll give you an example that across the board that works all of it. And of course, the easiest way to buy a mattress. That's the sleep part. The health part is crucial that sleep be a portion of better health because I believe it is an essential need. And when sleep is maximized, everything else in life is better. And the way in which I do that most effectively
Morning, guys.
is with an app called Nucalm. Nucalm is, and I can put some information on the screen at some point, but I'll show you. It's on 30 years of neuroscience. It uses frequencies in order to actually have the information come into the brain so that you can maximize your sleep, focus, energy, personal energy, and live life better. Really, really,
Okay,
really.
beautiful, beautiful, baby. I mean, I love this concept of operations here. What's number 3, sir?
Number 3 is energy, and that's in 2 forms. Personal energy being the energy that people need in order to survive and function. NuCalm definitely will help with that, but there's also the energy you use at home, which is the electricity part, which everybody's bitching about. Jack and I both have a very, very specific way in which to make that a lot simpler and easier and cost effective for people. And the money part is there's a lot of moving parts to the money part, but in general, people being more productive at those 3 things that we talked about, the energy, better sleep, and having better health, generally makes them more productive. They can make more money and do what they do better for the most part.
Okay, now, and last but not least, probably quite arguably one of the most important components, or if not the most important component. What's the fourth component, Mr. Patalano?
The most important component?
Or the final? We have 4 of them. We've discussed
No,
3.
The fourth one is financial, which has a lot of different arms to it. The making more money, the ability to do a affiliate program for a lot of things that I do is a part of that. But there's also the digital asset part of it, the whole crazy world of cryptocurrency, which is a topic
Right.
that is beyond the scope of what we're doing here, but I am very well versed in that.
All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you and take what you said and translate it into veteranese. I'm going to translate what you just said into the language a veteran would understand. Okay.
Perfect.
Can I do that? Can I help you
Yes.
out, bro?
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of this. You are the veteran guy.
Right. Now, number 1, what was your number 1 topic again? Sleep. You said sleep. And you talk about your specialist in sleep and everything else. Here's what sleep means to me as a veteran. What is sleep? I get woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, we have bombs going off in certain areas. I'm on an aircraft carrier. I got planes launching every 15 seconds. I mean, I got bang, 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 bang in my bedroom. All right. I'm on this thing for 3 years. And when we go out and we launch combat sorties against Iraq at the time, and now we're back in Iran again, but we're busy. We're being attacked. We have CWIS, the close-in weapon system on an aircraft carrier. We got bombs coming in. We got bombs going out. We're busy. Bang, 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 bang. It'd be like having a helicopter land on your roof every 15, 20 seconds. Well, maybe a little bit longer, depending upon the sequence of events. So sleep is very important to me, but I don't get enough. So if I learn more about sleep, if I learn more about the different components of sleep and specialize your registered sleep advisor, I could probably save the lives of myself. See, it's very valuable to save lives. I could save my own life and the lives of others because I'm more educated on sleep. And I also firmly believe, I don't have any education to prove this, but I kind of do because I am a veteran. Sleep or sleep deprivation is a primary component of people who are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome. These are the guys walking around on their own, they're depressed, they're delusional because they don't get enough sleep. So when you look at these people, they look like they don't get enough sleep. How do people who don't get enough sleep, how do they look? They don't look like myself. They don't look like Mr. Patalano. You can see the people that would benefit from more sleep. So Mr. Patalano is more analytical, is more what's the word I'm looking for? More professional. But I'm even more simple than that because I am a veteran. I just simply say, man, dude, you ain't getting enough sleep. I just put it all together by myself. I don't need all the background and all the difficulty, etc. So that's my interpretation of sleep and the importance of sleep. So I wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Patalano. Probably the number 1 component in our program is sleep and the acquisition or the opportunity to obtain a more restful, uninterrupted sleep. That's right. I would agree with that. So that's really all I have to say from a veteran's point of view of the value of sleep. And when I talk about sleep, I automatically link it to the post-traumatic stress syndrome component, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because I believe that if the sleep component was taken care of, we would have less veterans killing themselves every day. That's what I would say. So what's the second component, Mr. Patalano?
Health in general, both physical and mental.
Okay, obviously, when we're on active duty, we have physical and mental health issues that are promptly addressed because we're a lean, mean, fighting machine, and we have to accomplish our tasks in garrison or when we're at home at our local unit or we're in the field or actively engaged in combat. Health and fitness. Have to pass your fitness test. You have to have wellness. You have to have mental wellness. It's very serious, and we constantly evaluate it, especially in today's military, mentally and physically. So when you're actually screened for mental and physical disabilities, etc., or when you're screened in general, please be truthful with the counselors. Because what happened with me when I was on active duty, we had the check in the box mentality. Were you screened by your mental health practitioner? Were you screened by your health and wellness coordinator? Yeah. I got to go eat lunch now. I got to go eat lunch now. I recommend to take these two very important and vital components, not only for mission accomplishment, but for overall survival, even after leaving the military and just achieving an overall value or an overall perspective of good health, mentally and physically. When we feel better, we are better, we get more sleep, and we're generally healthier and more positive in our approach to life. All right, Mr. Paolo, that's my veteran take on what you just said for number two. But what's number three?
Energy, both the personal energy that a person, an individual gains by utilizing both the NuCalm app and generally better living. That
okay.
The personal part.
Okay. So all I could say on that, in my mind, that's essentially the same thing about health and mental, or I should say, mental health and physical well-being.
It's a byproduct of those first two.
Well, right, and also sleep is included in that because they're all kind of related, and it depends upon the depth of what we want to discuss. Now, I'm making this up as I'm going along because I want instant benefits. I want to know what this stuff does. We have a vehicle called NuCalm that addresses these areas, and it just provides more validity or more value to the program that we're offering. So I like having a platform, a somewhat standardized platform where we can promote and share our products and services. So that is the value. I have a vehicle, I have a website that will allow me to do these things.
We talked about an idea yesterday that I'll throw out here in front of anybody, that I know you have access to Mind Trainer Pro, and that they have a program that one of their modules, Clarity, is free for first responders and veterans. That may be a good intro to how the whole idea of using frequencies can help with this whole process.
Okay, and it does. It
does that. Then they're like, all right, well, we can take it to the next level because NuCalm is bigger and better.
But what I would like to also do, and since you brought that up, I'll tell you exactly what I'm feeling. Let's make sure that while we're having this verbal interaction, we create a written content that also mirrors what we're discussing in a verbal fashion. Because when we have written and verbal together, we actually have an opportunity to reach everyone. Because some people like to read, some people like to talk, some people like to do both. But I want to maximize our opportunity to connect with anyone who's viewing this presentation and how it has value for them.
Do you see my screen right now?
Yes, I see your screen. I see bits and pieces. I see where it says suggested and Microsoft Edge and all that, but that might be on my end. Hold on for a second. Yeah, I got you. I got the benefits of NuCalm. Now, number four, what is the fourth? Remember, we're going to discuss the four components and what they mean for a veteran. So what's the fourth component?
Financial, and for veterans, there's a lot of moving parts to it. It could be.
Okay, may I address it? May I address finance from a veteran's point of view, or my point of view? But I am a representative. Okay, I am a veteran. Here's what I think about with finance. I got a check. I'm going to spend a check. I got to buy a car that I don't want. I'm going to buy a house that I don't want. Because I am trained because I do what I'm told every friggin' day of my time on active duty. I do what I'm told, man. And then I tell people that tell me what to do. I tell people to do what I want them to do because they told me what to do. All right. That is the format. That is the jack and about. That is the box. So finance, I got to check. I don't personally always get gratification from what I do because I'm told what to do. Do you understand that, Mr. Patalano?
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally care if you want to wipe the table. I'm telling you to wipe the table, so you wipe the table with a smile on your face because I'm your boss and I told you to do that. So we can have those discussions and all after the job is done. But when I tell you to clean your weapon with a smile on your face. And that's how we operate. That's the big picture. So when we take all of these different components and we put them together, that's what we wind up with. But here's what typically happens in a military organization. Anywhere where I've been, with the Marines, in the Navy, screwing around with Army guys, hanging out on Air Force bases, taking leadership classes. I'm out there laughing, and they're laughing with me. But this is what I realize. We take training because we're told to take training. So when we tell people to do something, particularly from a veteran's perspective, they will do it because we told them to do it. The problem is we usually tell people what to do after the problem occurs. So, for example, I got a hot babe for a girlfriend and I want to impress her. I'm going to buy the Corvette, even though I don't have a dollar to my name. Well, what happens is when we miss the payments and we start having financial difficulty, then we see the commanding officer of the unit because we're in trouble. So what the commanding officer does is he has a board of chiefs or people like myself that are what we call a disciplinary hearing, right? So what happens in a disciplinary hearing is we got guys in there and they all say, not recommended for retention, let's throw them out of the Navy. Not recommended for retention, let's throw them out of the Navy. And we go around the room. And then we come to Chief Bosman. And Chief Bosman has a little smile on his face. A smile? I mean, this is a very serious event. This is a very serious occurrence for a sailor's life. I mean, we're deciding today whether or not to keep the person in the Navy or throw him the hell out. And he goes back to his life that he had before he joined the Navy. But when he or she joined the Navy, they wanted a better life. So instead, what happens is we give up on these people and we throw them back to the crap life they had before they joined. What is Chief Bosman? All right, Chief Bosman, what do you have to say? Well, sir, I definitely agree that this man made a very poor decision. So this decision has to be corrected, and it has to be corrected now. Because the reason this person joined the Navy is because they wanted a better life. And if we send this sailor back to the life that they had before they came in the Navy, they will be involved in the same crap they were in before they joined the Navy. See, the Navy was their last ticket. It was their last hope. And the CEO will say, and I'm looking at it a little bit. All right, Chief, what? Go on. How can we rehabilitate this servant, this sailor? I say, very easy, sir. I've already taken steps. I've already done this, sir. What I've done is I've called the sailor's parents. What? I've called the sailor's parents because I don't have the money to give this guy. I mean, we're all laughing like, what are you getting at? What are you getting at? I don't have the money to support this guy and his family because that's why I'm in the Navy. I have my own problems and I have my own stuff that I got to pay for because I want the sexy girl in the Corvette too. And then we have a little laugh, like it's very serious disciplinary. We have some people kind of grinning or smiling at it. I said, so what I have done is I've already talked to this sailor's parents. And this is what the sailor's parents have told me to do because we're going to fix it. I told the parents, your son or daughter is going to be going to captain's mast tomorrow, and they're going to be recommended to be thrown out of the friggin' Navy. I think that's pretty serious, and I think you should take a concern. And this is what happened, because this is very important for people to understand. I like educating people. Some of the parents said, you have permission, Chief, to take off your belt and whack the crap out of my kid. You have my personal, what's your email address, dude? I will email you, and you have the permission to kick the crap out of my kid. I mean, and I will put that in writing so you don't get in trouble for doing that. And I say, great, I can do that. How about we educate your kid? Because I personally like your kid. I don't think he's a bad kid. I think he just made a stupid decision. How about we do this? How about you send me, I'll give you my bank account number, or we can get your son or daughter in here and get theirs, and just simply send me the money. Just simply send me the money. And then I will take that money and I will give that to whoever the car dealer was or whatever you bought. And I will say, no more scamming. Here's your monthly payment or whatever you signed up for, and we will work that out with you. And it took a little work on my part because not only did I deal with the sailor's parents, I dealt with the sailor, and I also dealt with the person who sold him the car in the first place. What is your thought process, sir? Hey, man, this is Jack's Corvette, Jack's Corvettes. Hey, how you doing, Chief? Hey, what's going on, brother? What's up? You sold one of my sailors a $250,000 Corvette. I want to know the thought process for that. What is the reason you would sell somebody that makes $100 a month? Why would you sell them a $250,000 Corvette? Chief, we're kind of sorry about that. And well, you know what I'd like to see happen? What's that, Chief? I'd like to see you buy the car back and sell it to somebody that can provide that vehicle to the right person at the right price and everything else. What do you mean? You're asking us to buy the vehicle back? The vehicle is coming back because you really didn't do it business the right way. And I'm going to tell all my sailors that are on the base that I know that you're a shitty dealership. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell everybody you're a shitty dealership so that nobody comes back to you. But I don't want to do that. I want to settle things, and I want to teach this guy or girl about money at the same time. Could we do that? I had one car dealer, well, all of them basically, ultimately in the end, came back to me and said, hey, boss, hey, Chief, we're going to restructure the loan, and we're going to do business with your sailors the right way. I got my salesmen that are the weasels. They do business their way, but I own this dealership, and I will personally work out the details of every loan, of every sailor that works for you. Hey, you're a good guy. By the way, I'm coming down here. I might buy something more. I'm going to come down here because you're such a cool guy. I'm going to buy something from you. And that's what happened with respect to finance. But the reason I'm bringing this situation up is because it has nothing to do with finance directly, but it has everything to do with finance. It's the way we look at money. It's the way we handle money. It's our experience with money. See, especially in the civilian world, in the military, it's a little different because we know each other's rank, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct? So
Yeah.
in the military, if I tell you I'm an E7 with 7 years in the Navy or 8 years or 10 years in the Navy, you could probably guesstimate how much I'm making a year. If I tell you I'm an E1 with less than 2 years or more than 2 years, or I have 10 years in E2, I can probably tell you about how much you're making a year. But civilians don't do that. So because civilians are so secretive with their money, they don't tell people how much they have in the bank, even in families. Would you agree with me?
Sure.
Does your daughter tell you how much money she has in the bank?
No, why would she?
Because there's no trust, there's no willingness to help. It's none of your business. When in essence, finances are the most important thing that we should be discussing with people, right? We should be discussing this with people because it doesn't matter how much a person has if they don't know how to spend it properly. They won't ever have enough. And the thing that always perplexes me, particularly with civilians, is who gets it all in the end? Who gets it all in the end? And I found this out with my mom. We could play games. We could make a big secret. Mom, how much money you got in the bank? Can we talk about something else? And the funny thing about that is, the moment my mom died, I know how much money she had in the bank. Makes sense? So I asked my mom a week before she died, hey, Mom, how much cash you got in the bank? I need a couple of $100,000. And my mom laughed. Well, you're not going to get that much. So the moment she died, I go to the bank because it's a transfer of assets. I find it all out in a day, in an hour, in 15 minutes. You can do the same with your daughter if she's in your will. If she's listed as like if something were to happen to your daughter or daughters in your case, then immediately, if you're designated as a beneficiary, if anything bad happens to them and they check out of life, you immediately know how much money they have within 15 or 20 minutes because you're the beneficiary. But we don't do that when people are alive. And it's probably one of the most important things we do. Would you also agree with me that even in the military, we force financial education on people? When you go to school, do you ever learn about finance? Anything about finance?
Very little.
No, you don't. Do you ever learn anything about sleep?
No, definitely not.
I mean, any of the 4 key program components that we're discussing that are very, very important to anyone, are we don't discuss any of this in school.
Well, that's why I build them as essential needs, because they are. It's unequivocal. So
correct.
I'm trying to change my screen here. It's the one of the things that I want everyone to know is the difference between my 4X Wellness and Jack's are specifically within the health part and the finance part. And the finance part specifically. So here's a question for you. Veterans in general, any veteran, do they automatically have benefits with the VA, or do they have to apply for them? Is it something that they have to pay for? I'm trying to determine whether or not there's any additional health care that the veterans would need that I could help with Impact, which is actually the logo on the screen now.
All right, I'll put this all together in my head and for the audience as best as I can. I want to stress that I'm a veteran. You're not a veteran, but here's the difference. I do what I'm told. Okay, it's a mentality. It's a veteran behavior. I do what I'm told. I can do whatever I want as long as I have done what I am told. All right, I can wash that car in the morning, or I can wash it in the afternoon, as long as I wash the car. Do you understand that mentality? That is the central point. We can have some changes, we can have some moving parts, but at the end of the day, we have to make sure that vehicle's washed. So we do what we're told. But in the Veterans Administration, we want veterans to go to the Veterans Administration for their medical care. Do you understand this? So we don't necessarily need veterans going to silly billion hospitals or anything silly billion oriented. We need veterans to go to the Veterans Administration for the care that they've earned. You understand that, right, Mr. Patalano?
I do.
Okay, so since we understand that, there's a process called vetting. What vetting means is if you have a program or a service or a product and you want to do business with the VA, then there's an approval process. I can't go to people and solicit them and say, here, try this. Try. If they come to my table, if they talk to me, I can do what I want to do. But I can talk about things like I'm doing with you. People are walking by my table. They have a thumbs up. They could probably hear what I'm saying, but they are approaching me. So it's the same thing with the VA. And it's not just specific to me. It's specific to anyone. We get money from the federal government, right? President Trump likes us. They pay us well. They give us they give me my gauze, my Band-Aids, my alcohol pads. They give me all that stuff for free. They cut my toenails for free, man. I get all this stuff because I've earned these benefits as a combat disabled, retired Navy combat veteran, as I've stated. So I earn these things. But I have to make sure that when I talk to veterans, that I say, look, do this, 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 and this. But realize that this is not sponsored by the Veterans Administration. The Veterans Administration has no component in it. This is just being provided for additional educational content. That's all it is. Additional training, if you will, additional resource. But it is not sponsored by or endorsed by the Veterans Administration. That's all.
Would it be helpful for veterans to have a overlay, per se, healthcare wise, that would give them information that they need that would help diagnose things that are wrong, basic little problems, prescription medications, things like that they to be able to do right from the comfort of their home, on the phone or on their computer, that would determine whether or not they do have to go to the VA for any kind of medical treatment. Because I don't think the VA has anything like that, like telehealth. And
we have all that. Yeah, we have all that. Oh, definitely. That's tip of the spear stuff. The technology that we have in many cases surpasses what's being offered at silly billion hospitals. It's just not the same. Because see, here's what we have in the federal government, and this is what I like about the Veterans Administration. My personal opinion, I could say that 100 times, my personal opinion. When I go to see a doctor or a nurse in the Veteran Administration facility, I'm seeing somebody young. I'm seeing somebody with no experience. They're interns. They're not old fossils where you go see this guy who's propped up in a chair, who's barely breathing. He's not your doctor. You have interns that you go to. They're young, and the number one quality that they all have is they sincerely want to help better. See, they have a willingness to help. You personally, Mr. Patalano, have a willingness to help. We like that. We want people that are willing to help us, to provide some additional source of information. But I want to reinforce upon you or everything else that we still fundamentally need to be told what to do, or it has more value to us now. Tell me what to do, but tell me the benefit of what you have. But there's also a component, and this is where I am very successful. I don't care what you have. Everybody has products and services. This is the way we work in this. It is America. We're a capitalistic society. See this slide? This perfect. We could have just shown this slide for the entire brief and hit our mark consistently and
which is what we should have done, but technical.
But no. This is fine. This illustrates ultimately what we are discussing.
All right. So now we got the healthcare part of it done.
Right.
The veterans have no need for any of the healthcare stuff that I offer. Everything they need is with the VA. I believe that consulting with you about how to best navigate the VA is really going to be helpful, because I'm under the impression from an organization that was involved with long toe that some veterans don't really understand how to do that, and you can help them with that process.
You're correct. But I will also bring up something else. Have you ever picked up a veterans magazine like an American Legion or Disabled American Veterans or anything like that? Have you ever picked up a magazine? I can't
say that I have.
Okay. Well, let me give you my perspective, and veterans will benefit from this too. Now, when I get a American Legion magazine or a Veterans of Foreign Wars magazine, all right, this is what they do. They have articles about veterans, man, and all these things, man. They really happen, man. It's all good. It's a good read, man. But what they also have in these magazines, in order to publish them, is they have a lot of advertisements, right? So in other words, you can get a stair chair, you can get a bathtub where you can walk into the bathtub, and you can do all these different things, right? So these advertisements are in a VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, or an American Legion magazine. So if you take the information, you would say, well, all of these activities, all of these bathtubs, all of these sinks, all of this upholstery, all of these erectile dysfunction devices, all this crap, all right? You would just put it in your head that, wow, it's in the Veterans of Foreign Wars magazine, or it's in the American Legion magazine. I guess veterans endorse this stuff, or the VA endorses this stuff. But what I want to make you aware of is this is paid advertising. So the veteran says, the VA likes it, or the American Legion likes it, or I'm going to buy it, I'm going to get it. But that is never said. That is never said. All these people are doing is publicly advertising in an organizational magazine to promote their product and service. That's all they're doing. They're paying a fee to advertise, to publish the magazine. But
all right, Jack, let's finish this segment by talking about the financial part of Forex Wellness. And my stuff, which is not as crucial as what your version of that is, and that is the bottom two things on there: the saving on the wireless phone bill, which is coming. You'll have that next week available, and I'll give you some more on that. And this is more crucial, your final expense insurance, which is unique to you. That's that's your version of financial wellness. It's my stuff. It's if people are interested in blockchain and cryptocurrency, I can help them with that for sure. Average veteran is like, I think that makes their head spin. If they have a need for that, there's a ton of stuff that I can do to help.
Right.
If they're into real estate, if the idea of owning fractional real estate and being involved in the real estate market is intriguing to them, and to be able to utilize AI technology to be able to achieve a function that will allow them to make money by investing in an organization that uses AI technology to be able to do lead generation for realtors for individual zip codes. I have that. That's pretty cool. That is Zipshare.ai. That's another topic
Okay,
in
now,
itself.
hold on,
That's
hold on
really,
for a
really,
second.
really out there.
Okay, hold on for a second, Mr. Patalano. We agreed to discuss the 4 components.
Right.
when we
That's
talk
definitely a
about-
financial component.
Please, let's just, I would just say, let's focus very clearly on the 4 components that we're talking about. Now, this is my final question for you, because we could talk more or we're done. I want to be finished now because we did an excellent job. Did we address, tell them what we're going to tell them, and tell them what we told them? Did we address it in that manner?
We did, and we elaborated a lot more on the financial part of it because there's a lot more moving pieces to it. And we did that. And the whole idea, and we talked specifically about how veterans do their finances, and you were very, very good at being able to articulate how a veteran their finances is different than the average person. So,
okay, and I will ask you one final question because we can, like I said, we can go another 2 hours or 3 hours, but if
we're not going to. We're going to wrap this up in the next 30 seconds.
All right. Here's my final question for you, Mr. Patalano, as a silly Billy. My final question for you. Do you sincerely, in your heart, in your mind, in your body, want to help veterans?
100%.
Let's go to work and let's be productive and let's make sure that we continue providing these informational briefs along with a written component to do that. That's it. Thanks for your help, Mr. Patalano.
You're very welcome.
I'm truly a happy man right now. You could say to me, thanks for your service. I could say to you, thank you for your support.
Very much so. So I'm going to turn the recording off, but I'm going to keep the meeting on in case somebody comes up that wants to actually have something presented. We can do that.
Okay.
So
thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and we will be providing additional informational content about our products and services. Thanks again, everyone.
thank you.
Good job. I'm happy about that.